Today I'm attempting to make a black pizza. Why? Actually don't know. But if you're asking why, you're probably new here and I love laughing and learning about the world of food and I think it's gonna be fun, especially as we're gonna make the majority of it from scratch, including a black mozzarella. We're gonna start off with our dough. All right, let's get this going. We've got some lukewarm water here for our yeast. Sugar likes yeast and yeast likes sugar. We want to feed off each other, help each other out. So we're just going to leave that to get foamy and bubbly for, I don't know, it should be like 10 minutes, something like that. In this bowl here, we have got some flour. Now this is James Bond flour. That's what I like to call it, the 00 flour. This is really good for pizzas. Now I've just completely covered that in activated charcoal, which is hopefully give us the dark color, and we can put salt in there too. So it's going to go kind of like, I don't know, like an ash color. With the remnants of your barbecue coals. Refine a grind of 00. Is it 0000? Let's call it James Bond. It might even be 00. Allows for longer fermentation, which is what we're doing, whilst producing a light, airy, crispy crust, as opposed to a chewy one with other flours. So we've got a nice little hole there for the fluid to go in. We're going to add in half of it. This is electric whisk, head whisk, got dough hooks on. I feel like I should have made like a cement pizza actually. Look at that, it does look like concrete. But that really is taking in that water well. So I have got a little bit extra, just to pull that extra flour off the sides. We don't want to over wet it, just want to get that right texture. I couldn't help myself, I want to get my clean hands in there. Added in a little bit more flour just to take a bit of that tackiness away, but this is so smooth. It is, you know, it's quite cliche, but it is genuinely like the texture of Play-Doh. It's like weird, like sometimes you make a dough and you're like, you know, you literally make that face. We all do it, don't we? But this, I could generally play with that for hours. So I'm gonna clean this bowl. I'm gonna get some spray oil. Any oil will do. So I'm using the air fryer oil from the other day. The old tips and tricks video with the air fryer where we ended up finding like nearly 800. So that's going in there. So sometimes in the past you see me like say we're going to put that in a warm area to double in size for roughly an hour, and that's perfectly fine. But we're going to cold ferment our dough. Now it's a little bit like the salt. I think from memory that's what the salt does to the yeast. It kind of restricts it growing too quickly, whereas the sugar feeds it. We learned that recently, I think. Cold fermenting still allows the yeast to work, but at a much slower pace. Actually, one way of describing it is when I'm putting it out in the warm area, I'm like inflating a balloon like quickly. Those bubbles are going quick for the yeast. But when I put it in the fridge, those bubbles are forming, but at a much slower pace. But in doing that, it develops more flavor. And those bubbles are actually stronger. It's a bit more like good bubbles. That's what we'll call it. It just gives it time to work and strengthen together. So this, in 2 days' time, should look like this. Hello, darkness, my old friend. This was the same 500 grams of dough. So this is what we've just made. And this is a larger bowl, so it takes a lot more effort to fill it out. And as you can see, after 2 days, a 2-day-old pizza dough. And it definitely needs to come up to room temperature while we work on other things. So I'm gonna divide this up. We'll let it rest whilst we work on our other things. We're gonna be cooking that in our outdoor oven, bonkers heat. And on that note, thank you to some of you that pointed that out on the cheap versus steep pizza video. There's no oil in that dough because we are cooking it at insane heat outside. Apparently, if you're using an indoor oven, it's good to use oil because you're only getting up to maybe like 240, 260 C. So the oil kind of helps hydrate it. Whereas we learned about olive oil and smoke points in the past, sort of regardless of that, it's gonna be in and out of the pizza oven before we know it, so it doesn't actually need it. The only oil we need really is for the bowl. I really appreciate that feedback in the comments. I learned from that, thank you. Before we work on our mozzarella, I wanted to talk about toppings. There's things like black olives, which are an absolute standout. I used to hate olives, but you know, sometimes when you go to a restaurant and they give you complimentary olives, over the years, I've just kind of like just sat there and gone like, oh, I'll try one. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I don't mind it. And now I actually really, really like them. So although pineapple or mushrooms are quite dark, pineapple isn't, but what I'm saying is they're kind of like that thing, don't put that on pizza. Put whatever you want on your pizza, as long as you're gonna eat it. That's my motto. Olives on my pizza wouldn't necessarily be a thing, but it's already black, so I quite like the idea of that. Another option was eggplant or aubergine, which has kind of got that dark skin on it. I didn't really want to do that, but I know that's quite popular in some places. However, what I want to do is stay true to one of my favorite pizzas, a pepperoni one, and actually try with bacon too. We're gonna try and make it black. This is 100% an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work, but bonus, if it's sort of got a shade of black, we're gonna take it, all right? This is some bacon and pepperoni that I'm just gonna pat dry. Pat. What I have here is a pot of treacle, very nostalgic thing in the UK. I think it's a byproduct of refining sugar, isn't it? AKA molasses. So this is my plan. We are going to try and dye pepperoni and bacon. This is very fiddly. Ugh. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. So it might surprise you, I've never done this before. I've no idea if it's gonna work. Oh my gosh, this is horrendous. It's sticking everywhere. Right, come on. There we go. So it's in my bag, and see, like, even already it looks like some of that coating has come off. So let's use something else that might also help stain it. Yeah, nice can of stout. Are you crying? Are you okay? It's not gonna be that bad. Oh yes. The stout has gone in, fully covering the stained bacon and pepperoni. It's got to settle a little bit. We've still got the head on it. Now that is just going to sit, there we go, in a ramekin. Oh, look at that thing. Fantastic. And this really needs to soak for a long amount of time. So the other day when I made my pizza dough, I also did this. This is the same thing. I did this 2 days ago. There's my new one going in with my new dough. But let's not spoil it yet. Let's leave it in here next to some of my random homemade Feastables, and we'll see what that turns out like in a bit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really unsure about that. I don't know. I think it's going to stain it a little bit, which is fine. I'll absolutely take that. I think a black pizza deserves a little bit of colour, a little bit of personality. I think I was just kind of like really intrigued by that, so we'll see. For the sauce, we recently did one that I love doing where it's like a peeled tomato, so large plum tomatoes, and we can just whiz these up. The other day was Mrs. Barry and I's 10th wedding anniversary. We popped over to Amsterdam and went to this absolutely incredible pizzeria. There's actually a pizza on the screen right now, and the sauce tasted just like it does with this. Literally this and salt. However, we want to make it black. So we discovered these last year. I actually got a black garlic bulb. They're in some supermarkets. They sort of smell sweeter, and it kind of adds like an umami flavour. We don't really sort of use that word enough here, umami. But my plan is to whiz this up with this to potentially make a black tomato sauce. If not, I've got a mountain of different black food dyes I ordered. But I think this should do it. Get that in there. Wow, that is very red. So what are we thinking? Is this gonna work? I'm learning with you here. Let's see what happens. I think it's gonna actually dye it. I actually think it will do something. Here we go. Oh my word, that has definitely darkened, hasn't it? But that needs to be darker. So the first thing I'm gonna try is this pot of squid ink. I'm not gonna put too much squid ink in because I think it's strong, but also, well, it smells like the sea. In that goes. Right, will this do anything? I think that worked. That is completely black pizza sauce. Well, I've got an awful lot of it. Doesn't smell bad. That is literally black pizza sauce. What is this video? I don't know what we're doing, but we're now moving on to the black mozzarella. I don't really know how to do this. My main thinking is that I need to dye the milk at source, because if we start to curdle it and all that and then try and get the dyes in, it's going to be too late. So that's what we're going to do. For reference, I've made homemade mozzarella about 3 times, and every time it's been really fun. You should definitely try it. I don't know if you want to do it black. That's optional. Let's see how it goes. Just realised there's not enough milk in the house to make mozzarella. You need 4 litres. So I'm just on my bike. Yeah, a little bit of exercise for making the mozzarella. I like to think that cycling was inspired by our trip to Amsterdam. Absolutely loved the place. 4 litres of milk. And that needs to be darker, doesn't it? So like, this is my theory for this. I was looking at like how they dye cheese different colours, right? And there's a very common powder that helps dye it yellow or orange called annatto, which is a tree grown in the tropical regions of Central and South America. But I believe it's a powder. So I have got some black powdered dye, which is normally for like dusting on icing. It should do something, right? It's got to. Well, Marty, we're gonna find out. And I'd rather put this in than squid ink. I'm absolutely convinced that this is the time to do this. So I'm hoping it dissolves into the milk. It's not. It's not dissolving. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is, sort of. Is it? That ain't dissolving. It's foaming up. What the heck's going on? Right, let me get something else. Right, this is some of that gel food dye that is super high concentrate, where you only generally need to put like, I don't know, like a cocktail stick's worth through, and it dyes icing really, really vibrant. We know how well the activated charcoal worked. I even brushed my teeth with charcoal toothpaste. These combined, surely. Oh my word, we're making a potion. Okay, that is 100% helping. It is definitely darker. But if I've got to have like cement coloured mozzarella, I actually don't mind that. I was thinking on the bike ride, if one of the things that is slightly lighter is the mozzarella, I'm going to take that. And who knows what's going to happen once it curdles and everything. Oh my gosh, there is like black colouring all over me. I'm not surprised if I've got any in my teeth or anything. When I went in that shop, maybe I looked like someone has just climbed a chimney or something. But it is really foaming and bubbling. I hope this is going to be okay. Who knows what's going to happen once that foam settles down. It could all be really black underneath that. Here is 250 ml of cold water. And this is some citric acid. And we just stir that around to blend it in a little bit. See? Pretty much fully dissolved. Okay, and here is another empty bowl. Slightly less water this time, 60 ml. And you can either get this in liquid form, but this is a tablet, quite easy to get online. That is a tablet of rennet. We're going to dissolve this because this, with the citric acid, is what is going to help create our mozzarella. To be fair, I've not used the tablet version before. I've always used it in like a liquid thing, and you can get a vegetarian one too. But yeah, we'll just get that to dissolve, which is taking a very long time. Put that to one side for a minute. In comes our black milk, which actually increasingly looks more and more black, I'm not going to lie. And we pour in the citric acid mix in there. What is that going to do immediately? Now we've got to heat it up. Over here on my hob. So we're not looking to take this too hot. In fact, 30°C, which is just about where this thermometer starts. All right, let's just hit 30. Don't know if you can see it. Which barely feels like any heat at all, honestly. Our dissolved tablet goes in, whisk it through a few times. So before we can move on, what we're doing is waiting for that mixture to set. It should take, hopefully, about 5 minutes. Well, I don't know what to say, folks. It's actually been 20 minutes. I've just uncovered it. And normally you get this sort of like separation already, a quite clear one, where you can do lines in it, almost like a thick yogurt to create grids. Now this is foam. But then to the left of it is actually black. And I don't know if that's just black milk or if that is like a black set thing. But I've left that way longer than you really need to. It doesn't matter, but like rather than leaving it for say 5 minutes, I left it for nearly 20. So let's just try and see if we can cut through anything. Oh, look, there you go. I'm going to go all the way down. That actually feels thicker at the bottom. That's something. It's definitely so, it's so hard to see because it's black. Which is the whole point of this. Back on a very low heat, and oh, there's something there. There is some, look at that. We have to stir it. There is definitely something. Oh my word. We have to stir it gently to try not to break these curds. But our problem is I can't actually see them. There are definitely some sort of lumps there. I don't know what they are, but they look blooming black. Oh my word. Oh my word. Oh my word. Look at this. It looks a bit like truffle. Ooh, could I put truffle? Passing it through the cheesecloth. There is absolutely loads. Looks like something from Stranger Things. That is our black mozzarella. Now, I've warmed up the pan again. I've put clean water in it. We could leave it in the way if we want. I've put that to one side, out of the way. Because to help form the mozzarella and bond it together, which it kind of has done anyway like that, we put it in warmer water. This is around about 70 degrees, so we can knead it and shape it. That is way more pliable now. So shimmy some salt in. Like a little bit of baby kneading. I can't believe it's actually worked. Right, Because I'm not using it immediately, this saltwater brine that I've got here, which has gone murky, brilliant, will do the job. I'm going to get like 7 or 8 pieces. And whilst I was worried about the mozzarella, I was going to go, yeah, do you know what? We'll just do like white mozzarella and dye it if not. We were always going to do that with the Parmesan, which we'll do next. But actually now for the pepperoni, I'm kind of like, if it doesn't dye, we'll just leave it. Just popped outside and preheated my pizza oven. That's getting nice and hot. A few years ago, I did a rainbow grilled cheese, and that was just using the store-bought pre-grated cheddar stuff, and we just dyed it. And I was a bit worried because thinking I'm just going to dye the outside, but it actually did end up dyeing the whole cheese. So I know that this is going to work because whatever we grate is what we're going to use. Yeah, we have got some Parmesan, and this is literally all going to get coated in black food dye anyway. Somewhere there is an Italian nonna either crying or going, oh wow. This is just the standard stuff that you get in the bacon aisle of a shop, but that is plenty. That is so weird, look at that. It looks like confused coconut. And I kind of like that it is speckled. I could push it more, but I'm worried that it might get a bit too damp. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Well, that was easy. Oh, so let's have a look at our pizza dough from earlier that's rested for probably over 2 hours, to be honest. But oh my word, this is so light and delicate. I'm gonna get a touch more flour and it's time to build this. I'm not gonna get crazy and spin it in the air, but this is so light and strong. So I've got the pizza on a paddle ready to go. I've got my sauce out, but I wanna see what this looks like. This is our pepperoni and bacon. I think I'm just gonna do pepperoni. I have no idea if this has worked, but if it has, or indeed hasn't, you guys will probably give me some tips. There's uses for this going forward. I can't think what. I'm more worried about if I'm going to have black teeth or something far worse for the next few days. Pour out the Guinness. Oh my gosh, the bacon is black. The pepperoni is sort of stained. I might take that. But the bacon... Look, I've made black bacon. So let's go with this, our black tomato sauce. Now that is a dark sauce. Now the black Parmesan. Oh, I like that. I like that it's kind of like a mixture. Oh, now the pieces of bacon. Thing is, I think visually if someone looked at it, they'd be like, what the heck is that? But I've definitely eaten worse. There's our pieces of mozzarella. Let me just see what the pepperoni looks like. Oh, do you know what? No, that looks so red, doesn't it? Let's take it off and just know that we were part of a moment where this could have been with it, but I think we've stayed true to the colour scheme here. Right, let's get this in the oven. All right, folks, it's a bit windy out here, but it is 420C, the oven, okay? I got told by a pizzeria the other day that's the almost optimum temperature. In it goes. I really hope you can see that. Oh, magic things are happening. Problem is, I can't really tell if it's burning or not. Oh my word, that is black. I can't believe it's worked. It's everything I imagined a black pizza to look like. Essentially burnt. Oh my word, I love it. I know it looks like it's absolutely incinerated, but that's the colour it is. But what I do like actually is the irony of just putting like a couple of fresh basil leaves on it to remind itself that it is a pizza. It looks insanely burnt. Little balsamic trickle. I think I'm gonna love this, honestly. Oh, this looks like the perfect piece. Oh my word. Here we go. Oh. That is sensational. It's not the mozzarella. It's not the bacon. It could be the dough. Something is slightly gritty. I might have put a touch too much activated charcoal with my dough, but it's not a massive notice. So it's just a little, just that last little bite. I've got just a mild crunch. Oh, that is fantastic. You've almost got like a caramelization with the bacon where the treacle has sort of soaked in there. You can't really taste the stout, but that's giving it like a sweetness, like the garlic would have as well with the sauce. The mozzarella is absolutely fine. I'm actually really happy I didn't put the pepperoni on it. The combination of the balsamic with the bacon, the tomato, the garlic, the cheeses, and even that basil a little bit. That is so good. I like that so much. I really want to make just like a normal version of this. But you can imagine how it was if I like serve it like that. Here's your pizza. It's absolutely fine. It's almost like a jam in some ways. Just looks like someone's shoved a load of leaves and prunes and sort of charred ham on some charcoal bread, which isn't what it is. Genuinely, that is really, really nice. We set off to make an epic challenge and we have achieved that, and it tastes good. That's the good thing about it. So if you've enjoyed this and you want to see me come up with another coloured recipe, I don't know, like blue KFC, I don't know, every now and then I might have some fun with that, but I laughed and I learnt today, and that is the whole reason I do this. Cheers for watching. Thank you to the patrons that support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, I had to try it with the leftover pepperoni, and actually that looks kind of good. I like how it's blended in with the sauce. It's still not black though, is it? One for Boston.